Cascon Corporation in Hai Dương City is a well-known local container manufacturer. Since joining the market, the corporation has become the supplier for French, Danish and Australian businesses. The Vietnamese Prime Minister's trip to Australia this time is expected to help businesses like this strengthen ties with Australian partners and find new customers.
We have completed negotiations with our Australian counterpart Alpha Viking to export our storage containers to Australia. They have also ordered sample products. I think there's a great potential in this market. Apart from that, we are approaching one big Australian logistic group known as Toll, and we hope that we'll see positive results. The Australian and New Zealand markets are opening many opportunities for Vietnamese businesses, especially small to medium-sized enterprises. I hope this trip would help boost the performance of our company.
Following the Vietnamese Prime Minister's decision 371 last year to improve vocational training, many exchanges have been held between Australia and Vietnam. Apart from sending vocational teachers to Australia to learn, Vietnam hopes to receive further support such as funding and helping Vietnam set up an Industry Skills Council.
It is great if Australia can help Vietnam to set up the Industry Skills Council, which includes sending Australian experts to country. But it's even better if Australia could do that through non-refundable aid, because we all know that the state budget is limited.
Vietnam and Australia has significantly improved the bilateral relation, especially since the two countries achieved the comprehensive partnership in 2009. However, there are still many untapped potentials in cooperation, and the visit to Australia and New Zealand this time is believed important for Vietnamese businesses to obtain more knowledge about the markets, which are considered important to ASEAN and Vietnam. According to the Foreign Investment Agency under the Ministry of Planning and Investment, in the delegation, there are 42 Vietnamese businesses in 6 fields with great potentials for cooperation, including mining and energy, finance and banking, agriculture and food processing, telecommunications, infrastructure, education and training, and tourism.
Despite the great potential for cooperation, investment from Australia and New Zealand to Vietnam and vice versa is humble. We hope that the trip opens a new chapter for investment and cooperation. It is important, especially in the context that Vietnam, Australia and New Zealand are in the middle of the negotiation process for the TPP, which is expected to be finalized soon.
Australia currently has 328 investment projects in Vietnam with a total capital of $1.66 billion, focusing on areas of mining, agriculture, telecommunications, education, and industrial engineering. Meanwhile, New Zealand has 25 investment projects worth $82 million. Experts believe Vietnamese businesses can greatly benefit from these markets.
In the past years, export volume of products such as agroforestry has risen significantly. In terms of investment, mining and education has witnessed stronger ties between businesses of the two countries. Both Vietnam and Australia have strength in such areas, and they are important especially to the Vietnamese economy. I hope we continue cooperation in existing areas and expand to other areas as well.
In 2014, the export turnover of Vietnam to Australia reached $3.99 billion, which is 13.7% higher than that in 2013. Agroforestry such as pepper and seafood enjoy the highest growth among export items to Australian market. And experts believe Australia and New Zealand could also be promising for Vietnamese exporters since stiffer competition has been reported from traditional markets such as the US and EU. During the 5-day trip, Vietnamese businesses will join in different meetings with Australian and New Zealand businesses, as well as site visits and satellite events. And hopefully, will be a chance for them to penetrate into these markets and get themselves ready for the next wave of investment from Australian and New Zealand investors, especially when the TPP is signed. Quang Anh, Vietnam Television.